I took my Vantage Pro 2 in from the tower a short while ago. I need to work on the outside temperature and humidity situation. Right now it's reading nothing there, and it's been like that most of the time. Every so often, like every couple of weeks maybe, the correct temperature and humidity will pop in view, and usually it'll disappear fairly quickly after that. I have a new temperature and humidity sensor on order, and part of my efforts this time around will be to replace that in the outside sensor unit and see if I get any different results. It's been kind of an ongoing situation regarding that, and in this round before the winter sets in, I want to do what I can to get everything functioning correctly. So my new replacement sensor for the temperature and humidity has arrived, and my plan right now is to check that out and see if that is a problem. Okay. Okay, I'll leave that solar cell light there for now. Make sure it's connected. And the temperature humidity sensor is right here. Take that out. The new one, this is the big test now for this. I'll just plug it in and see if we get any reading here. Hey, the temperature outside is reading. Probably take a little while longer for the humidity sensor to react to the humidity, but that's encouraging for sure. I'm in a cool basement room here now, so don't be alarmed that the temperature's indicated. Here we go, we got a humidity showing up as well. That's very encouraging. So this is the outside sensors right here and right here, temperature and humidity. This is the inside, right here and right here. So they're not corresponding yet, but it'll take a while, I'm sure, for everything to settle down there. So even though the previous readings were intermittent, it looks as if we might have a good system going on. Earlier I did anemometer test running the unit in my pickup truck, and I'll have that included in the video somewhere. I was encouraged by the readings of the anemometer as judged by the speed of the truck itself. So it appears to me right now that it'll be worth my while to restore the overall unit and get it back up in the tower. I think this is about 8 years old now, the overall unit, and this is the first replacement part I've had to purchase, even though I've had trouble off and on over several years with the temperature, humidity, as well as the anemometer. But this is definitely encouraging in terms of giving this another try. So I'll probably properly install the temperature humidity sensor where it should be, and I'll also clean up the unit overall. This broken cover latch right here, I don't think it's a problem. The seal looks good. There's no apparent moisture or dirt inside, so that all looks good. So I think I'll proceed now and take the shield off and get the sensor properly installed, and we'll take it from there. So the new temperature humidity sensor has been installed now temporarily for 20 minutes or so, and Still get a reading here. This is the outside here, 14.8 and 62%. The inside sensors, which are in here, of course, corresponding reasonably well in view of the fact that this has only been hooked up, the sensor that is, for the last 20 minutes or so. Give it time to settle around. In the meantime, I'm going to unplug the new sensor and re-plug in the old sensor just to see if possibility of a bad contact or whatever there, just to be sure. So it'll take a while now for that to update, no doubt. It's still temperature now has gone blank because the sensor, no sensor in there at the moment. Humidity has not been refreshed yet. So it's reading 64% still. I don't know what the refresh rate is on that. So I'll give it a moment to go blank. There we go. And I'm going to plug in the old sensor again, just on the chance that the contacts here might have been bad or whatever. So we'll try that. Here we go. It's plugged in. Give the chance for any reading to come up. So it's still blank here and right here for the temperature and humidity. Give it another moment in case its sampling hasn't taken place yet. So it's a curious type of situation because, as I indicated before, the temperature and humidity, the outside temperature and humidity would on occasion pop in okay and appear to be accurate, and then it would disappear usually within an hour and maybe stay off for weeks and months at a time. So I finally got around to ordering a new sensor, and it arrived a few days ago. And this, my initial test indicates that that's what I need. So I'm still getting no reading on the old sensor. I'll unplug this connector again, plug in the new sensor connector, and wait for a reading. Here we go. New sensor right here. So the temperature pops up immediately there, 15.4. Right there. We'll give it time for the humidity to show up. The reading, there we go, is showing 60% at the moment. Corresponds not too badly with the sensor inside the display unit, 65%. Temperatures differ too a bit, but I think we need to give time for these things to settle around, and I think I have enough enthusiasm now about the new sensor to take the assembly apart and install the sensor properly and clean the unit up a bit and get it back on my tower. The plastic, of course, is no doubt suffering from exposure to the sun, and that makes it a bit more brittle than normal, and you would want. No, I'm going to end up having to use a tool or two to get that out, so I'll get a blade screwdriver. I think I might be able to. I don't really want to break the tabs off completely. I broke one off on purpose previously to make it easier to get out, but I'll see what I have to do this time. Okay, We need to take apart the assembly here to access the old temperature humidity sensor, so we'll get on that now. We have 1, 2, 3 Phillips head screws there, and those are machine screws. They go into these tapped inserts at the bottom of the assembly, right here and here, so there's no separate nuts involved. So before we start that, I'll take out the foam plug here, hopefully. I might have to get my pliers on that. It's in there pretty snugly. There we go. Put that aside. And this is the connector for the sensor, temperature and humidity sensor. So we need to get that cable out through the hole there. Cable right here, that's coming from the anemometer. And this is the temperature sensor unit. Just leave that screw there in place for now. Like that. And let's see what we have here. There we go. So the sensor is on the top section of the shield, right there. That's the old sensor. I think while I have this apart, I'll try hooking up the old sensor again. I'll take the sensor off the plate first, and I'll bring over my display. Like that. And you can see I'm getting just a blank reading on the temperature and the humidity there. What I want to try before I get rid of the old sensors, I just want to see, because this unit and the display indication was intermittent in a way. Every now and then, every couple of months, the temperature and the humidity would come on all of a sudden and then disappear shortly after that. I want to see if there's some sort of a bad connection in the assembly that I can pick up on. So before I go further, I'll take this off here first. There's 3 screws securing this in place. That's a self-tapping type screw there with a washer. That's the one that secures the cable itself. And another similar screw. There. So that is the the old sensor. Kind of keep this together there for now at least. So what I wanted to do is plug this back into the transmitter unit and wiggle a few wires or whatever and see if we get any action. Okay, it's in place there now. We still don't have any reading there, so I'll just play around with this. See if it's related to a bad connection or a broken wire or whatever. Doesn't appear to be. This is a printed circuit board here, and it seems to be very well sealed in place. This protective rubberized type of coating, but no action there. Just to show what I'm trying to do, I'll take a new sensor here and I'll plug that into the unit. There. And if all goes well, we should get a temperature reading, which we do right here. The humidity sensor will be a little slower responding, or else the sample rate is different for the humidity. But either way, the new one is clearly working there. Take that out. And I'll put this one back in again. The only reason why I'm trying this is because, like I said, it's an intermittent type of operation that frequently indicates a bad connection of some sort or whatever. So, now I wonder if this comes off. I guess it does somehow. Okay. Pushes through there. Let's see. There we go. That's the cover. That's empty. So the two sensors are right here, and they are also very well sealed in there with the rubberized sealing system they've used. All this is sealed, like, and there's a very soft type of a protective cover. Still don't have any reading there. So it appears as if the temperature and the humidity sensors are either they both failed at the same time, or else there's a common connection that is broken that affects both units. So not much more I can do with that without more destructive testing here. No response there. No response at all. The seal doesn't appear to be broken in any way. It looks like you can peel it off though, which surprises me. grabbing a hold of it. Still no temperature reading there, or humidity reading. Okay. So that takes that. The sensors themselves are right here. The connections are through the printed circuit board right there. Let's pull this back a bit more. Okay. Those joints look really good, and here they look good. So we may as well try to get the protective seal off there as well. There we go, that was easy. So, it's a little IC type of setup, an integrated circuit, and both the humidity and the temperature sensors are in this area here. It looks as if one is right there, probably I'm guessing the temperature unit, and presumably this then would be the humidity sensor. So just press around there a little bit, see if there's any connection problems. This is a surface mount type of soldering and whatnot going on there. So there's not much more I can do with that for this type of test. So I think we have to say for sure probably there's very little chance for any of this to wiggle the connection and make a break because of the rubberized protective covering there. So I guess I'll have to assume both sensors failed, and or one of the printed circuit board traces have a small break somewhere. Either way, I'm not getting any response. It's still plugged in there. So I have no choice but to use the new sensor, which was my intention anyway, but I just plugged the new one in there. So we should get a temperature reading shortly. Here, there we go. So, as for why the unit failed, I have no idea. It's about 8 years old. Looks as if it's the same design. So I'll be happy to get 8 more years out of that, so we'll see how it goes. So I'll proceed now to get the new sensor installed, and we'll take it from there. So that turns back around like that. And these little standoff spacers have their place in holes like there, so I have a rough guide here with my marks, so that will line up. Drop them all in place at the same time on the there and there, all falling neatly in place, and I'll be optimistic that they will now tighten up okay. That feels good. Okay. There we go. Okay. Feed that up, and I'll plug it into the temperature humidity socket here, like that. Hopefully we'll get a temperature reading. Yeah, that's good. And I'll feed some of this cable back, like that. Now this cable, as you can see right here now, is a little bit drooping down, and as opposed to being up, this is the preferable way, because if water accumulates right here, as it will, it's not going to easily flow into the housing there. So I'll leave that as it is. I don't think I have to worry too much about that. And I'll plug the hole with the foam plug. Yeah. Like that. So I see we're getting a humidity reading there now as well. So that's all good. And I'll get the solar panel cover on. Little connector here first has to go in. Like that. And over like that, slides down and snaps in place. So that looks like it should be okay. The excess cable from the anemometer, and put it in a plastic pipe to keep it contained rather than try to untangle it completely there. So I check that anemometer operation again there. So it's reading right there okay. I had these the reference arrow and this cover right here in place when I was doing the testing of the anemometer, so they don't really mean much right now in terms of the overall test here. So other than that, I'll just check the ring gauge again. The reading right here. I'm not sure how long it takes for that to refresh. So we're getting a reading here, and it says it's raining cats and dogs, so that appears to be operating just fine. So next up is the ring collector guide here. And like I mentioned before, there's 4 tabs on this. 2 are off. I remember breaking one off just to get it removed, and the first time I did this, I think it's a couple of years ago, at least a year ago now. So, then lined up, give me a clockwise twist. Okay, I think it's in place. Okay, those 2 tabs that remain there appear to be holding it securely, and they, I don't think I had to worry about it coming off. There's a little bit of distortion with the plastic in turn, probably due to exposure to the weather, so to speak, for 8 years. So overall, I think we have a functioning unit. My only concern at the moment is the wind speed indicator. Even though my pickup truck tests and other tests indicate that I have a working system, I have had a fair number of occasions where the anemometer cups are spinning, quite crazy, and I was getting very low readings on the display itself. But that's something I'll have to evaluate as time goes on. So right now it looks like we have a system here. I'm hoping to be able to get all of the excess cable for the anemometer into that, rather than trying to spool it up neatly again. So good. So all of the preceding clips were made about 2 years ago, and I'm happy to report the outside temperature and humidity sensors are still working fine. So, all good.